The email appeared in my inbox at 9:47 p.m., 12 hours before the biggest pitch competition of my career. But it wasn't meant for me. It was a forwarding error that would save my company and destroy a friendship. Payment confirmed, $50,000 transferred. She's too trusting. By tomorrow's pitch, she'll be yesterday's news. Enjoy the win, Marcus. You earned it. Trevor. My assistant for the past 18 months. The person who knew every detail of my startup, who'd been in every strategy meeting, who I'd trusted with passwords, plans, and my professional future. And Marcus Chun, my biggest competitor and the founder of Apex Tech, the company favored to win tomorrow's Tech Forward competition and its $2 million prize. I stared at my laptop screen in my home office, feeling the world tilt. The email had been meant for Marcus, but Trevor had accidentally included me in a forward chain while sending follow-up details. One click, one moment of carelessness, and his betrayal was laid bare. With shaking hands, I started digging. The email contained an attachment, a complete breakdown of my presentation for tomorrow. Every slide, every metric, every innovation I'd planned to unveil for MindBridge, my mental health AI app. But more than that, it contained our proprietary algorithm, 18 months of user research, and the technical specifications that made our app revolutionary. The timestamps told the story. Trevor had been feeding Marcus information for 3 months. Meeting notes, development updates, investor feedback, everything. And now, on the eve of the competition that would determine which startup received funding to scale nationally, he'd sold our entire playbook. My first instinct was rage. My second was devastation. But by the third breath, something colder took over. I'd been in tech for 12 years, climbed from junior developer to founder, survived the boys' club mentality and casual sexism. I'd learned to be strategic, not emotional. I pulled up my development folders and smiled grimly. 3 months ago, I'd noticed small discrepancies. Files accessed at odd hours. Questions from Trevor that seemed slightly too probing. Call it paranoia or intuition, but I'd started compartmentalizing. The full version of MindBridge, the one with groundbreaking predictive algorithms and revolutionary treatment matching, lived only on my personal encrypted drive. What Trevor had access to was MindBridge 2.0, the decoy version I'd been carefully crafting for just this possibility. The decoy was good enough to fool someone who didn't understand the underlying architecture. It had impressive features, solid UI, compelling metrics. But it was missing the core innovation that made MindBridge truly special. The ability to predict mental health crises 72 hours in advance with 94% accuracy, allowing for preventive intervention. That algorithm, the result of my PhD research and 2 years of refinement, had never touched the company servers Trevor could access. I called my co-founder and CTO, Priya, immediately. "Lila? It's late, what's? Check your secure email. Now." I heard her gasp as she read Trevor's message. "That bastard. That absolute. Save the anger. We need to be strategic. How quickly can you help me restructure tomorrow's presentation? What are you thinking? Marcus is going to present my decoy app as his own tomorrow. He's paid $50,000 for the privilege of humiliating himself. I say we let him." Priya's laugh was sharp. "You beautiful genius. You knew." I suspected. The real MindBridge has been under wraps for 3 months. Everything Trevor had access to was the sanitized version. But won't the judges notice the similarities when you present? "Oh, I'm not presenting MindBridge 2.0 tomorrow. I'm presenting the real thing. The one that makes his stolen version look like a child's toy." We worked through the night, rebuilding my presentation from scratch. Every slide was crafted to highlight what the real MindBridge could do that the decoy couldn't. Every demonstration was designed to expose the limitations of what Marcus would present as his own innovation. At 3 a.m., I took a break and did some research on Marcus Chun. His company, Apex Tech, had a pattern, 3 previous competitions where their presentations had suspiciously similar elements to other startups. Always different enough to avoid lawsuits, always similar enough to raise eyebrows. But they'd been careful, and the tech world's boys' club had protected them. This time would be different. This time, they'd stolen from the wrong founder. I also dug into Trevor's background. What I found explained everything. He'd applied to Apex Tech before joining my company. His girlfriend worked there. His browser history, yes, I had monitoring software on company computers, showed regular visits to their website. He'd been a plant from the beginning, or turned shortly after starting. By 6 a.m., I had everything prepared. Not just my presentation, but a comprehensive package documenting the theft. Screenshots, timestamps, the email trail, even security footage of Trevor accessing files. All organized with the precision of someone who'd learned that in tech, documentation was survival. The tech-forward competition was held at the Moscone Center in San Francisco. 500 attendees, 50 investors, 25 competitors, and 5 judges who would determine which startup would become the next unicorn. I arrived early, wearing my lucky red blazer, the one I'd worn to every major presentation. Trevor was already there, setting up at our assigned booth. The audacity of him showing up, pretending everything was normal, almost impressed me. "Morning, Lila," he said cheerfully. "Big day. You ready?" "Never been readier," I replied, matching his energy. "Did you double-check all our materials?" "Everything's perfect. You're going to crush this." I smiled. "Yes, I am." Marcus arrived an hour later with his Apex Tech team. He caught my eye across the room and smirked, the confident expression of a man who thought he'd already won. He'd probably spent the night rehearsing my presentation, memorizing my innovations, preparing to claim my work as his own. The competition began at 10 a.m. Each startup had 15 minutes to present, followed by 10 minutes of judge Q&A. By random draw, Apex Tech was scheduled to present at 11:30. Mindbridge would go at 2:15. Perfect. I sat in the audience for Marcus's presentation, Trevor beside me, both of us playing our parts. As Marcus took the stage, I felt Trevor tense. This was his moment too, seeing his betrayal bear fruit. "Ladies and gentlemen," Marcus began, "Apex Tech is proud to present MindMatch, our revolutionary mental health AI platform." MindMatch. He couldn't even be bothered to think of an original name. What followed was my work, almost word for word. My user interface, my research findings, my market analysis. He'd changed just enough to avoid obvious plagiarism. Colors shifted, terminology adjusted, statistics rounded differently. But the core was mine, delivered with his signature arrogance. MindMatch uses proprietary algorithms to connect users with mental health resources in real time, he explained, demonstrating features I'd designed. Our beta testing shows a 73% improvement in treatment matching accuracy. Those were my numbers. From my research, that Trevor had hand-delivered to him. The judges seemed impressed. One asked about the predictive capabilities, the crown jewel of the real Mindbridge. "We're developing predictive features for version 2.0, Marcus said smoothly. "Early models suggest we could anticipate user needs with up to 60% accuracy." I almost laughed. 60%. The decoy's limitation because it lacked my core algorithm. He was bragging about inferior technology he'd stolen. Trevor leaned over. "He's doing well. This is bad." "Is it?" I whispered back. "Just watch." Marcus finished to strong applause. Several investors approached him immediately, exactly as he'd expected. Trevor excused himself, probably to text congratulations to his real boss. I used the lunch break to make final preparations. Priya had arrived with our real demo devices, the ones running true Mindbridge. I also touched base with one of the judges, Dr. Sarah Kim, who'd been my professor at Stanford. "Lila, I'm excited to see what you've built. The mental health space needs real innovation. I think you'll find my presentation illuminating," I said carefully. At 2:15, I took the stage. The same stage where Marcus had just presented my stolen work. The same audience who'd applauded his theft. Time to show them what they'd really been looking at. "Good afternoon. I'm Lila Patel, founder of Mindbridge. Before I begin, I'd like to address something unusual. You've already seen a version of my work today." Murmurs rippled through the audience. Marcus, sitting in the third row, went rigid. 3 months ago, I discovered someone was accessing our files inappropriately. Rather than confront them, I chose a different path. I created a decoy, good enough to be convincing, but missing our core innovation. That decoy was stolen and presented this morning as MindMatch. I clicked to my first slide, a split screen showing Marcus's presentation on one side and my decoy files on the other. The similarities were undeniable. But I'm not here to talk about theft. I'm here to show you what what the stolen version of Mindbridge can't do. I launched into my real presentation. Where Marcus had shown 73% treatment matching, I demonstrated 91%. Where he'd promised 60% predictive accuracy someday, I I showed live demos of 94% accuracy predicting mental health crises 3 days in advance. This is the difference between copying homework and understanding the subject, I said, demonstrating features that made the audience gasp. MindBridge doesn't just match users to resources. It anticipates their needs, intervenes before crisis, and learns from each interaction. The judges leaned forward. Investors started taking photos. And in the third row, Marcus's face cycled through confusion, realization, and fury. Our proprietary algorithm, the one actually proprietary, not stolen, uses behavioral patterns, linguistic analysis, and biometric data to create a comprehensive mental health profile. This allows us to alert users, their support networks, and healthcare providers before a crisis occurs. I showed real testimonials from our beta users. Lives saved. Hospitalizations prevented. Families reunited. The impact Marcus couldn't claim because he didn't have the technology to achieve it. During the Q&A, Dr. Kim asked the question I'd been waiting for. This is remarkably similar to what we saw from Apex Tech. Can you address that? Certainly. I pulled up my prepared slides. This morning at 9:47 p.m., I received this email, accidentally forwarded to me by my assistant, Trevor Matthews. I displayed the email on screen. The $50,000 payment confirmation. Trevor's message about me being too trusting. The entire thread documenting the theft. My assistant sold our decoy technology to Marcus Chun for $50,000. What Mr. Chun didn't realize was that he was buying an intentionally limited version, missing our core innovations. He presented my work, inferior version though it was, as his own. The audience erupted. Judges called for order. Marcus stood up, face red, trying to speak but finding no words. Trevor, I noticed, had disappeared entirely. I have documentation, timestamps, and security footage of the theft. But more importantly, I have this. I ran the final demo, showing capabilities that left Marcus's presentation in the dust. The real MindBridge. Built not on stolen ideas, but on 2 years of original research, protected innovation, and the kind of deep understanding that can't be copy-pasted. The standing ovation started before I even finished. But I had one more thing to say. The tech industry has a problem with theft disguised as innovation, with people who take credit for others' work, with systems that protect predators over creators. Today, one predator learned that sometimes the prey has teeth. Thank you. I left the stage to thunderous applause. Marcus was surrounded by angry investors demanding explanations. The judges huddled in serious discussion. And somewhere, Trevor was probably updating his resume. The aftermath was swift. MindBridge won the competition unanimously. The $2 million prize was ours, but more valuable were the investor connections, the media coverage, and the industry validation. Marcus was disqualified, his reputation destroyed. Investigation revealed the pattern of theft I'd discovered, leading to lawsuits from multiple startups. Apex Tech folded within 6 months. Trevor was arrested for corporate espionage. The $50,000 he'd received became evidence. His girlfriend at Apex Tech dumped him when she learned she'd been dating a corporate spy. He pled guilty and received 2 years probation plus restitution. But the best outcome came 3 months later. I was at a conference when a young woman approached me, Maya, a freshman computer science student. Ms. Patel? I wanted to thank you. I saw your presentation video online. The way you handled that theft, it showed me that we don't have to accept being victims, that we can be smart, strategic, and turn their weapons against them. I'm starting my own company now. That's when I knew we'd won more than a competition. We'd shown every underestimated founder, every too trusting entrepreneur, every woman told she was being too paranoid about security. We'd shown them all that sometimes the best defense isn't just protection. It's letting them steal your decoy while you perfect your masterpiece. MindBridge launched nationally 6 months later. We've helped over 100,000 users and prevented an estimated 3,000 mental health crises. My algorithm has been licensed to major healthcare providers, always with my name attached, always with the story of how it was protected. Trevor sent a letter from wherever he'd slunk off to, full of apologies and excuses. I used it as a teaching tool for new employees about the importance of security, verification, and trusting your instincts when something feels wrong. The decoy version? I open-sourced it, letting other developers learn from and improve upon it. After all, even my throwaway ideas were better than what most competitors could create. And it served as a permanent reminder. When Marcus searches for MindMatch online, he finds the free, open source version of the technology he paid $50,000 to steal. At every presentation now, I tell a shortened version of this story. Not for sympathy or drama, but as a lesson. In technology, your ideas are your currency. Protect them. Document everything. Trust but verify. And always have a backup plan. Trevor thought I was too trusting. He was half right. I trusted, but I also prepared for betrayal. The difference between success and failure in startup life isn't just having good ideas. It's being ready for the people who'll try to steal them. During that pitch competition, I didn't just present an app. I presented a masterclass in turning betrayal into triumph. And that's an algorithm no one can steal. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.